I go. Made a promise to my mother, it's okay, cause I'm gon' die for this. I put my mind to this. Watch all these people, how they treat you, got no time for it. I fear no evil, got my demons, I'm just fine with them. And all these people think they know me, it don't matter to me, cause I'm gon' die for this. I put my mind to this. Watch all these people, how they treat you, got no time for it. I fear no evil, got my demons, I'm just fine with them.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of 3 Point Stance Podcast. On a victory week, we got myself, Caleb Everhart, and my guy, D. Gray. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. What's up, everybody? What's up, Steelers Nation? Big victory in week 3 over the Raiders. Man, it's always a great feel when you come into these conversations, man, off a win. It's like almost like the feel when you're a player, man. It's always a lot of things to clean up, but it's always easier to get corrected off a win versus a loss. And these are the type of things, man, of course, man, it's a lot to fix on tape for those guys, but man, going back to the South Side, man, to go correct that is a much better feeling when you come away with a big win on the road at that. Man, I mean, sheesh. Man. We got to talk about the Steelers fans, man. The Steelers fans on the road in Las Vegas, man. Like, I had certain things, man, in my mind I wanted to speak on, especially about the road of the fans, man, on the road all the way in Las Vegas and fire move catching passes, and you hear the whole stadium move. I was like, wow. It almost looked like how the 49ers travel when they played the Steelers week 1. It was like almost complete opposite this time. Now we traveling like that on the road to Las Vegas on the other side of the coast to represent the Steelers, man. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, it was good to see. I know the terrible tailgate had about, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 1,100 people for the tailgate that El Bell made an appearance at.
Wow, that's amazing.
They really showed out fan base wise, which isn't a surprise. We always show out.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I mean, I definitely seen some of the people like McKenzie and all those people posting and things like that, and about L. Bell and things like that. So, man, that's definitely dope, man. Especially, it's great for L. Bell, man, for whatever the reason why he showed up. But while he showed up, it was amazing, man, for the fans to actually reconnect with him since his last, I guess, exit of Steelers Nation, man. Yeah. And being able to connect again with those fans, man, to, you know what I mean, as a regular person now. So that's amazing, man. Well, man, we won't get right into it, man. We want to talk a little bit about the Raiders and the Steelers this week, man. Week 3, man. Victory, 23-18 win over the 18, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. 18.
Yeah, 18, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 23-18 win over the Raiders, man. What's some of your thoughts, man, about that win, man?
I mean, I thought the defense, other than Devontae Adams and trying to stop him.
Oh, my gosh. I was ready. I can't wait to get to him.
They looked pretty dominant. The only DB out there that locked up Devontae Adams was Joey Porter, and that was only for 2 snaps or 3 snaps on Devontae specifically. But,
right.
Joey looked good. Pat Pete got his pick. Levi, he was getting torched, but he still got 2 of them things. So I guess it's better to get 2 of those things, get torched, and get none of them and get torched.
For sure.
And then offensively, the offense looked probably Matt Canada's best game he's ever called. I think he's starting to get the idea that seat is on fire that he is sitting on.
100%.
On fire. It helped that Kenny was making throws. He threw an absolute dime to Calvin Austin in the middle of the field, which Calvin was wide open because nobody can keep up with him. But it was good to see Calvin finally get involved in the offense with something like that. We've been begging for a deep shot to him since the season started.
Sorry about that. I was responding to a little bit of tweets here. But, man, I heard some of that, man, you saying, but, man, let's definitely talk about the offense there, man. The offense, man, was making some big plays. And we could kick it right off with Calvin Austin, man, making a big play. He was a big contributor tonight, man. Besides GP, we'll get to him separately because he deserves his own conversation. But Calvin Austin, man, he had a great day. He had 6 targets, 2 receptions, 72 yards, and 1 TD. And that's the one TD we talking about. I think that was a 68-yard bomb that he caught, man, and from
72.
From
72.
72. Yep. 72-yard bomb that he caught, man, from Pickett, man. I think Pickett, man, was on fire, man. He was using his legs a lot, man. I think Pickett was finding ways to extend plays. Offensive line was letting. I mean, you're going against a good guy like Crosby. Crosby going to get his. Yep. Let's be real. It's like LeBron. LeBron going to get his. No matter how many people you put on him, he's still going to get his at least 20 buckets. Yep. And Crosby's one of those guys, too. No matter how many people you slide to him, he's going to get at least 1 sack. It's just part of the game. And they did a great job all night protecting Kenny. Well, Kenny did a great job moving around in the pocket to extend those plays and not make it look worse than it could have been. And the thing that I really liked about Kenny Pickett, man, was his opportunity that he was given as far as him moving out the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield and finding guys open. Because there's always guys. I was just looking at this old Steelers Super Bowl against the not 49, but against the Cardinals. Yep. And watching Ben just move around the pocket. I mean, he looked so big and slow, and he was just running around. It was so well, Ben move around the pocket, man. You can tell Ben is never looking to run the ball. He's actually looking for a big play and find a Heath Miller across the middle. And I'm just watching all these old games today, man, from just watching old Steeler history and just trying to compare this to the new style of Pittsburgh play. I mean, it's a little different. Back then was Bruce Arians calling plays versus Canada now. But Pickett, man, some of the things he did, he was showing Ben-like symptoms, man, when he was moving around the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield and not just trying to run with the ball all the time. Every time is an opportunity to run. And I thought that was big. That was tremendous in his growth as a quarterback and continue to progress through the season. I mean, he had a good day, man. He threw 2 TDs. He was 16 of 28, man, with 235 yards. Pretty solid game. Good enough to win a game. Najee is trying to make his way, man. He's trying to move. He was shy of 20 carries with 65 yards on the ground. I mean, hey, if you got 65 yards on the ground and those many guys scoring touchdowns, man, that's good. It's a balanced game from run to pass. And I thought that was that.
Yeah, and the thing with Najee is, like, people are hating on him and everything like that, but if you look at the highlights of him in these games, it's him getting hit in the backfield right when he gets the ball. He's got to shed 2 guys off, and then he's going to get 4 yards. So I don't know what. I know Dan Moore needs to be benched. He's the worst rated offensive lineman in the NFL right now as amongst starters, with a PFF score of a 29.2. I mean, the rest of the offensive line isn't much better, but that's a 29.2. It's time to get the rook in. It's time.
I mean, at some point this season, I'm sure they will make that executive decision to get Dan Moore up out of there. But once again, man, it's hard to play offensive line in this league, man. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to gel with 5 guys, and let's be real, we don't know what's really going on in the locker room and between the offensive plays and the O-line. We don't know, but we could tell there's a little difference right now with Najee's stats right now that it's something going on up front. Yeah. And I'm not saying relationship-wise. I'm saying something about the camaraderie as far as getting this train moving for the run game. Yeah. And it sucks because we thought we was there in preseason, and now it's like, it's not quite there. But at the end of the day, it's still things that's being done great to continue to win because now they off to a 2-win game streak right now. Like, man, they on the roll. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's definitely guys are pointing out, man. And George Pickens is stepping up big time. This game right now, finding ways to get open, man. I mean, over and over, Pickens is almost looking like exactly how Devontae Adams looked against our defense, but against the Raiders defense. He's open through the middle of the field all day. Yeah. And GP was finding ways to make play with swag. You know what I mean? That's always going to be his thing. It's funny, man, watching GP get on the sideline when he catch a play. He caught the little Tony toe tap thing, fell on the ground, got up, looked at the defender, said, dropped the ball, walked off. I said, man, this dude here, man, it's funny, dog. Wait a minute. What's that on your arm?
I sprained my thumb and fractured my pinky.
Oh my God.
One playing flag football. I almost fractured my back too. I had to go get a CT scan.
I was like, you're not about to flash that thing here, and people been wondering like, what was that he just showed? I was like, wait a minute.
I had to do the shiesty. I had to do it, and you got it on right now too.
Oh yeah, you see it. And it's funny. And once again, I said no distractions when we talk about GP because he does his own conversation. You did just that with this cast in your hand. But GP, man, he's doing his thing right now, and that's bright, man. I'm excited to continue to see him excel the rest of the season, man, with the absence of Deontay, man. And can't I know the offense can't wait to get him back, man. And yeah, man, I have a lot, man, of stuff to talk about today, man, about this place, man, about the offense and about the team in general. Man, the defense was showing up big time too, man. Like, what'd you think of the defensive play?
I think that TJ just proves himself week in and week out that he is the best defensive player on the planet. I mean, he dominates no matter what. I mean, he's out. It's like I'm tired of this Myles Garrett's this, Myles Garrett's that. He's not TJ. I'm sorry, he's not TJ. He's a freak. I'll give him that. He's a freak. But it took him getting Jim Schwartz to start putting up a little bit of numbers. And guess what his numbers were in week 2 against the Pittsburgh Steelers? He had 1 tackle. That's it. TJ scored the game-winning touchdown on an Alex Highsmith fumble. He had, I believe, two sacks, 2.5 sacks week 2. But, he went out again this week, primetime, again, back-to-back weeks, and showed why he is the best defensive football player on the planet. Bar none.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more, man. And TJ is continuing to make big plays and big time moments. I mean, TJ came away with 2 sacks, man. And that's huge, man. And one of them, he almost broke Garoppolo's back in half. And I was just like, bro, I was like literally at the bar watching it. I was like, bro, just go down. Like, why do you quarterback try to fight it? Just go down. Now your back got to go one way. The top of your body's going this way, and your spleen is out of the pocket now because you just didn't want to go down. Man, I was scared for Garoppolo, man. I was like, oh, my God. I could see his ankle cracking one way, back split the other way, neck the other way. I was like, bro, this is about to get bad.
Yeah.
But good thing for Garoppolo, man. It wasn't that serious. He was able to get back up and finish the game, man. But, I mean, we got to highlight. I mean, I'm going to say highlight. We got to point out some of the things that Raiders was doing, man, that was really killing the defense of the Steelers, man, was Davante Adams, man. He was on fire, man. He was killing across the middle all day. Sidelines and across the middle, it seems that the Steelers just, I don't know why their offense is just split sideline to sideline and leaving the middle of the field open. I mean, if I'm a coach here right now, I know I'm attacking the middle field instead of I'm always going to find a way to get at least 5 yards. I don't care if it's 4th and 10 backed up. I'm going for it, backed up my own end zone, and I'm banking on myself on my own 1 yard line. Potentially can get a safety. I'm gonna throw in the middle of the field and get a first down. I know it because that's what's going down. That's been proven for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Davante Adams is sitting there every play, and I was just like, how is this happening? I just don't understand. But Garoppolo looked pretty good, man. I mean, it was good that the defense was able to slow him down because, I mean, at one point I was getting a little nervous because Garoppolo was starting to sling it too much to Davante Adams, and it was just like Davante Adams. I mean, he was targeted 21 times. He had 13 receptions, 172 yards with 2 TDs. So, I mean, he had a super productive day, all-pro type of night for a guy like him. So, I mean.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like we were in the 4th quarter, 23-7. I'm calling my dad. I'm like, man, it feels good not to be stressed out about a game. All of a sudden, spoke too soon, Caleb. Spoke too soon because
Davante Adams scores.
Yeah, Davante.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. And it's crazy because not only Davante Adams, the young guy, what's this, Jacob Myers guy?
Oh, Jacoby Myers.
That Myers dude?
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, I mean, man, that dude is pretty good. He's a pretty good receiver for them to have as a secondary guy because Davante Adams, man, he's going to create a lot of distractions this season. And Jacoby Myers, man, he was just coming through in small increments and making big plays to move the chains for those guys. And at that point, I was like, they have to get someone on that guy too because, I mean, he almost had 100 yards receiving too. I mean, he was 15 yards shy from having 100 yards. So I was like, bro, he wasn't a guy that was supposed to be slept on either. So I'm assuming if I'm the Raiders, we don't get him up and running more this season because he had a good game, man. And a guy that was leading the defense for the Raiders, man, our former guy, my former teammate, Spilly, Mr. Robert Spillane, coming in with 6 tackles on the day, leading the defensive charge with 6 tackles on the day. I was like, look at Spillane making the top charts today. Wow. With the dark visor on. I was like, he's looking serious out there, looking mean. Man, I know he was talking mad trash, like, hey, I was the original Steelers. Wow.
Yeah,
man.
And there's one thing that you can't spell Las Vegas or Spillane without, and that's that L that they caught.
Facts. They definitely caught a big L, man, and they definitely did, man. Give it up to the defense, man. Give it up to Levi Wallace and those guys, man. We already spoke about TJ. Give it up to like Minka Fitzpatrick, man, and continue to play consistent all through the year since he's been a Steeler, man. Leading the team with tackles, right? Well, leading the game coming out of week 3 with 7 tackles, man, and Pat P and Levi leaving the game with 3 interceptions combined, man. 2 on Levi and 1 on Pat P late in the game, man. And really don't understand what was Garoppolo's decision right there to let it float up in the air like that to give Pat P a free interception. It almost felt like it was like a balls on air type of drill. He just throw it up and go locate a high point. And I was like, why would you do that? But hey, we ain't complaining. We come away with a dub. That helps to solidify that dub, Garoppolo. Appreciate it. But Pat P, hey, that pick don't count in my books. I want a real coverage pick. I want a real Hall of Famer pick.
But speaking of dubs, I think we've hit our marks on this Raiders game. I think we did a pretty good job there. But speaking of a dub, the team we are facing this Sunday just happened to mollywop your other former team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And that was pretty shocking, man, because I had a feeling that the Jags was on the right path and going to do big things, man. So that kind of shocked me when they took that loss to a young pup like C.J. Stroud. But once again, we have to give that young pup a lot of respect because this guy's coming in hot. He's a great quarterback. He's not. Yeah, she's saying the OU, but I'm saying Terps. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna talk about that. The young guy Stroud is looking good. But once again, man, he's a young guy that can't be shaken. And pressure does bust pipes. And I feel like this defense get after this young cat, man. He's going to make a lot of costly turnovers. With TJ and Highsmith on the edges, man, let's talk about the Texans O-line. They're okay, but they're not solid enough to the point they can't stop the inside because, they have Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil on the edges. Those two guys are Tunsil out there. Is Tunsil still out there?
Tunsil's out. Their backup left tackle's out. So they're down to their third left tackle. And Kendra Green's starting at left guard. So
wow. Oh, it's about to be a field day. Kendra, this is a tough week for you, brother. And you know the whole Steelers organization talking about, hey, left guard's the fish. We're getting that guy. And I think my boy Titus Howard is still out as well. And it's going to be tough, man. And that's why I was so shocked to see them put off and win. But that showed that they're capable enough to win it if you sleep on them hard enough. So C.J. Stroud, once again, I say he's a young guy, man. Pressure can bust pipes. So as long as he gets some pressure on this guy to make him have to think quicker, which I think the defense is going to come after him because of what the unexperienced offensive line they have, and that should be the game plan for the defense. So, but I'm not sleeping on the Texans not one bit.
No,
D'Amico Ryans is a former player. He knows how to win games and he understands the 3 phases of football to winning games. And I'm saying knowing the importance of special teams. So I think he's going to find a ways to get in the end zone special team wise to help himself get a victory.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on the D'Amico Ryans. He's a hell of a coach. He's got that organization feeling themselves. And back to the Texans never really had a winning culture, but it seems like he's building that winning culture there, which is good to see. For that.
Well, I have to disagree. I know I hate to talk about a divisional rivalry quarterback now in Deshaun Watson, but when he was there, Deshaun was pulling out some big games for those guys when he was in Houston before all the scandal and stuff came out. Before that, think about the times when he was getting gouged in the eyes, still throwing TD when he had DeAndre Hopkins. They had things flowing. And it's just like, I don't know what happened to the Texans ever since that thing happened with the massage tables and stuff like that. we don't. I guess they moved the massage tables to Cleveland, and yeah. I guess everybody, all 30 of them, moved their massage table to Cleveland because it's crazy. But I agree with you, man. He's definitely building a winning culture there, man. But once again, man, it sucks that they have to face a Steelers team that's 2-0 and they hot right now versus a team that's also hot, coming off a big win with Jacksonville. I mean, that's not a slouch win. So
Yeah,
I think it's gonna really be a big ball game. But I really think that the Steelers is really gonna demolish them in the second half. I think early on, D'Amico Ryan's gonna have them really fired up, and it's gonna look like I'm gonna see the group chat going off, the group me bling 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 bling, just continue going off about what is the Steelers doing, what does Matt Canada call it, blah 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 blah, and before you know it, it's gonna be a blowout. You're like, wow, we had nothing to stress about, but. Once again, you can't sleep on the team like them.
Yeah, all I want to see is I think the defense is going to do the defense. They're going to eat that offensive line up. Hopefully, obviously, you never know in the NFL. But what I really want to see, I want to see the offense build off of the performance they just had against Las Vegas. And
I think so, man. I think they will. And there's some other guys, man, I want to see more of. James Warren, man. I think that guy there, man, is a guy. He's a solid backup, man, that's really reliable to get you that yard that you need, man. He's been a guy that's really been showing that he can catch the ball at the backfield and take the ball out the backfield and run with it as well as receiving. And that guy is really a pivotal part of this offense, man. When Najee's not in the game, I think he's a guy that they need to get cranked up a little bit more. And I think George Pickens has to continue to be a leader that he is right now because even though he's not the leader by age, because you got Allen Robinson and those guys, but at the end of the day, production is more of a leadership than it is, you know what I'm saying, vocally to me. So right now, Allen Robinson is definitely probably a vocal leader and more experienced, but GP is the guys out there actually getting it done. And I think he needs to continue leading by example. And I think we have, going into this game, we have some key guys we have to work with, key injuries that we can worry about, and that's one being James Daniels, man, a guy that's a starter right guard that's having growing issues right now, as well as Presley Harvin having a hamstring issue. So those some key injuries, man, going into week 4 with these guys. And Allen Robinson is also, and Gunnar Olszewski, man, have 2 unknown injuries right now that it's being seek treatment of. So we'll figure out later in the week, man, as game time get closer, what happens with those guys. And 3 guys we wish to have back right now. Of course, Anthony McFarland with a knee, and Deontay Johnson with a hamstring, and Cam Hayward with a groin. All 3 guys that's currently on IR. So we should be seeing from them soon when they get a little healed up. So hopefully they can crack the lineup, the 53-man back once again. Yep. If the injury doesn't linger too long before the period ends. So
yeah,
we in for a good one.
Yeah, from what it sounded like, Tomlin said he expects those guys to not really participate in the early part of the week, but he fully expects them all to play. Gunner, you can wait another week.
Man.
But on that, let's get score predictions, and then we're gonna wrap this episode up after the score predictions. So what you got, D? What you got?
Before we get the score prediction, matter of fact, we go to score prediction. I got the Steelers winning, man. This one, I got them taking this 27-10. 27-13. 27-13. 27-13, Steelers win this one.
I'm smelling a shutout. And I'm gonna go. I think the defense is gonna score a touchdown, and then the offense is gonna score 3. I'm gonna go 28-0. Maybe 31-0. Boz might get a kick in there, but I'm smelling a shutout with the way this offensive line is, and Kendrick Green's on the starting line. We've seen what that's like. So.
Okay, we got a shutout here, 28-0, possibly 31-0 with my 27-13 win. However, before we wrap this episode up, we have some key headlines and key transactions that I do want to hand out. They do want to talk about. Steelers worked out a wide receiver from the Ravens, ex-wide receiver, James Prochet. I mean, he's a guy they worked out early this week on Monday. We should see if he signs or not. Wow, they just signed a punter, Brad Wig, to the practice squad. And a big key transaction from the Chargers signed Semi Fehoko from the practice squad to their 53-man roster. Congratulations to him, man, getting the opportunity. But I have 2 controversial questions for you, and we're going to get up out of here. Tomlin, he denied the role of Canada's position, that he was just going to be Kenny's Daly's workout. That rumor was completely false, guys. That wasn't true. He never moved around. He's still the OC. He will not be the, you know what I'm saying,
allegedly
quarterback's workout partner all day. And lastly, I'm going to leave you and the fans with this question. James Harrison believes he is not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't want to be a Hall of Famer. Doesn't believe he deserves it. What do you think?
I read what he said, and it does make some sense because he blossomed late in his career. If he would have had maybe 2 or 3 more years of that, then absolutely. But he was a 2-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2 Super Bowl champs. I mean, he was the leading sack leader for the Pittsburgh Steelers up until like a week ago. I'm indifferent. I would say yes. Yeah, he is.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but you got to think about it coming from a guy like him that works, that took a trophy away, a participation trophy away from his son. We talking about that same guy. So you can tell me that he wants to be so legendary that it's like almost uncharted that no one can catch him. That's the only way he'd rather receive that award. Yep. So I can understand it, but at the same time, brother, you have created history in Pittsburgh. You have made people fear you on the edge for years and years and years. I mean, I'm telling you, when I first got drafted to Pittsburgh, I was like, well, I'm glad I came in this era when I had to deal with people like James Harrison on the edge. I'm just thinking about dudes, he was a bruiser, man. He hurt people, man. He was a strong guy. He was a guy that just all he did was work, and all that lifting was scary, dude. Yep. But I appreciate y'all. Hey, James Harrison, full Hall of Fame coming up soon. You are going to be a Hall of Famer. Whenever the ballot is, you are going to be in there soon. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Man, this is 3 Point Stands. Make sure y'all head to our social media page, ASAP. Man, give us a follow, man. We'll greatly appreciate that. And also go to our YouTube page. We need those subscribers. Keep them rolling in. Let's keep this content going. 3 Point Stands, presented by Steeler Nation, and we out.
Peace.